Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Slim Nation. Not the Slim Nation, I'm sorry. Welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And here's solo this morning. Should have had a guest, but he couldn't make it this morning. A few days ago, he was invited to the Martin Luther King function this morning, so uh, he's unable to join us. It was Tony Jones, an author, local guy, community activist, involved in a lot of things, and very interesting guy. And we're going to reschedule him and have him back on to talk about his life and motivations and where he is now. And mainly, he wants to talk about the many books he has contributed to with his writings about his life experiences, and hopefully they can help someone. Um, we see. I'm trying to. Okay, I think. All right, we all together here. As you can see, I'm here, and a lot of people today are celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday, which was on January 15th. But uh, the holiday is slated for whenever the next Monday is, and happens to be the day, the 19th. And a lot of people are having activities, probably go out to something later on. But I wanted to make sure I continue to show, and while I'm here, I just wanted to show my little pocket studio here, which you see over here on the screen. And it's a little area that I have in my um, living room, not living room, I'm sorry, in my den that I put together. And let me make sure I get, okay, that I put together. And we do everything from out of here and have a few different screens that I watch. And I have a big screen on the wall over there. But, certain platforms that we're on, I watch them just to make sure. But I have an announcement about Portsmouth Coffee Talk that I'll give a little later, and probably won't be on here for the full hour since I'm solo. But while we're going, let me play a little bit of, since this is Martin Luther King Day, play a little bit for you. Okay, I don't think we got that. I don't think it played. Okay, I don't think we got that. Yeah, I don't think it played. But anyway, we're going to continue on. I'm just going to be here for a little while. I wanted to just thank everybody for, and Boston Coffee Talk is not going away, but I just wanted to thank everybody for the continued support over the years. It's been over 5 years. We started the Boston Coffee Talk thing with uh, during the pandemic. We had been doing some things before the pandemic with Portsmouth Coffee Talk when we had a association with radio station, and we would in the pandemic, well, we used to go in and do the radio show live, and it was called the Cities of Hampton Roads. We hadn't yet put together Portsmouth Coffee Talk. But when the pandemic hit, it was myself and the Colonel Thomas, my cousin Thomas Chapman, the Colonel, we call him, and we would go in every Monday and do our thing on the radio for a half hour. And then when the pandemic hit, we didn't want to go into the station because of the closeness of where we would be sitting with each other, and it would have been it wouldn't have been a good thing for us to do that. So we started doing it virtually. And for a while, we did it virtually, and we had the telephone hookup with the station that they would be on. We would simulcast on our video show and the radio station for the first half an hour, and then the second half an hour would be just the video portion of the virtual part of the show. So we did that for years, and we've had some great guests over the years and great topics and conversations. Uh, a lot of political talk with different panels from with people throughout the Hampton Roads area, and some people from Texas and Atlanta, and sort of spread out throughout the country, and where we could get diverse opinions on how things were going on with them in their area. But nationally, everybody was feeling uh, the same way, or they were either supporting uh, the present administration. So it made for some very interesting conversations when the people that felt different from us actually came on. And that wasn't always the case, but we had fun with it and doing it. And then I guess the last few months, it's just we had some changes. You haven't seen the Colonel up here, and hopefully the Colonel will come back at some time. You've seen myself or Leah or me doing solo, but I continue to bring on guests, and which was very important to what we do. And we had some spirited conversations with Louis Bracy out of Maryland, who was a Portsmouth native, but he always brought on very interesting guests from Maryland as we tried to make the connection with the DMV, the Virginia, DC, and Maryland uh, area. Uh, the DMV, right. So we had a lot of spirited conversations. But the mornings, sometimes were a problem with some people because they would come on, thankfully, they would come on and they might have to rush off to work or something like that. Or some couldn't come on because of their work schedule. And we had a lot of people that, either were retired or they were on their own schedule where they could come at 7. And we started out doing it at 6:30 every morning, Monday morning. um, and it was hard to get up, to get prepared for a 6:30 show, just one day out of a week. If you're doing it every day, I guess it becomes a habit. But having that one day you had to get up, and I would get up, some at 4 sometimes just to set up all these cameras. It's not uh, really complicated, but it really it really took some time for me to really have everything set up properly so I could follow along on all the different platforms. And right now I'm trying to get yeah, okay, I have it up now. I was trying to get our Facebook platform up, so I have that up so I can see how that's going. But anyway, so what we're gonna do with Portsmouth Coffee Talk is continue what we're doing, and we want you to continue to watch. And one thing I like about the way we have it now, we can, participate, by you can participate as a viewer by making your comments because we are live, and you can participate in real time uh, while we are doing our show. So that's always a good thing. And of course, we always want you to help us by liking and subscribing. It's so important for any YouTube channel to have those likes. And I must always emphasize, a lot of people that have subscribed, they'll watch on a regular basis, but they don't always hit that like button. And you have to hit that like button uh, every time you watch. Just the subscribe button. Once you subscribe, you just do that once. But we need you to hit the like button each time you watch because it really helps the views that we get, and it elevates us on the YouTube platform uh, to a point where we can monetize or we can advertise, but we have to have a certain amount of subscribers and we have to have a certain amount of people who hit the like button, which adds up to viewers uh, per show. So continue to do that. But what we're going to do with the changes, we're uh, switching to, we're still going to be on Mondays, but we're going to switch to Monday evenings uh, at 7 p.m. And hopefully that will open it up for people that can't make the morning show and put a little, make it a little easier for the hosts and the guest hosts that we have here, not to have to get up so early. And hopefully that evening uh, show will give us a few more live viewers that will comment and talk to us during our show. A lot of people might watch the recording because not everybody gets up that early to watch a show, and some people are up real early. But we're going to see how that works having the evening show. We did pretty good. We used to have the morning show, and then we had the evening shows on Thursday evenings, and that got a little hard to do, taxing, especially for me because I was doing most of the booking up the gas and setting up the programs and scheduling, and uh, it's it can be a little taxing because I have other platforms like the Slim Nation one-on-ones experience, and recently we put together a our take on it show featuring Slim and Shona. Shona Choke Swinson, who's originally from Portsmouth and my IC Northern classmate. And we put together a show that we just recently launched, and we're having fun with that every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So join us with that. And so doing all these things, I call myself a producer, just by the name, but I just threw that in there because uh, I do be, hey Wayman, how you doing? I do be, and Wayman, shouted out Wayman Harrison. We go all the way back to elementary, so I appreciate him watching. Go back to elementary school and then to high school, all the way up until our senior year, when they zoned the people that live right across the street from our high school, they bust them out to another area of the city, Churchland. Uh, so we didn't graduate together, but we spent a lot of time together leading up. We even had, I think, a year we were on the basketball team together, JV. But anyway, getting back to going to the evening shows for Portsmouth Coffee Talk, Monday evenings at 7. Sometimes no matter what time you put it on, it's always a challenge. Some people say they like the mornings, and some people say they prefer the evenings. So we're just going to go to the evenings on Mondays and see how that works out. The most important thing for me is making sure that we can accommodate the guests that come on, that they can feel comfortable and don't feel as rushed like like some of them are in the morning. And excuse me, get a little coffee there, a coffee talk. As rushed as they are in the morning because they might have to leave, uh, make a hard exit and leave and go to work. And sometimes in the evening they're more relaxed and have more time to prepare to come on, and it just makes sense. Hopefully, we'll see how it works out as far as people watching and guests coming on and joining us. So, and we'll probably have Thursday shows, but they'll be special edition shows. They will be those shows. And we did this one time. We tried it one time. Sometime we have the panel shows where it's quite a few panelists, and 1 hour is just not enough time if you have, five or more panelists. I mean, our platform can hold up to 10 people, at one time. So we never had that many, but sometimes we have five or more. And when you have that many people, you have to give everybody a chance uh, to speak. And sometimes an hour is just not enough time to get everybody in, especially if you get one person that's long-winded. Mr. Bracy, I joke him about that. Lewis. Lewis can get long-winded, but love having Lewis on because he's a real dedicated person, the boots on the ground in Maryland and getting out there fighting for the people, and very opinionated. And we like to bring him on, and the people he brings on from Maryland. You might even get him to bring the governor on. I know he has a relationship with the governor of Maryland. So, but anyway, on Thursdays we'll have the shows where special shows where we have a special 2 hour show when something is a subject that we really need to have a variety of opinions, and hopefully we'll look for some people that maybe from the left and the right to be on those panel shows to get some different opinions on different subjects. But that's a little harder to do to book sometimes because it's just harder for me. But anyway, so look forward to that, and so look forward to the Mondays, and I hope you continue. You drop down from the morning shows to the evening shows and follow us. And even if you can't, join us on the evening show, it's going to be a rebroadcast. We are live on our YouTube channel and on Facebook, and sometimes I'll put it on TikTok, and we're working on, and I have a way I can put it on TikTok, and I think that's an audience we need to tap into as well. So we're going to do the TikTok thing and try to put it on as many platforms as we can. So it gives our guests an opportunity to really share what they have to say to many people. And we have some guests that really have something to say that's important, and we don't want to miss out any opportunities that we can give our guests to share their information on many platforms as possible. So that's what we're going to be doing with Portsmouth Coffee Talk. It's been times when I thought about, should we continue Portsmouth Coffee Talk? It was getting a little hard for me to continue to find guests and book guests and talk to guests. And, you know, uh, I said, well, I probably need a little help doing that. It would help having someone to do that, full time, but we're just not in that position because I wouldn't ask someone to do that without having some kind of compensation for their time, an effort that it takes them to call uh, people and find out when they would come on and do a little pre-interview with them and then share that information with the host. And so that's something I'll be looking to do. Maybe I can find a student that's willing to do that and they could, we could sign a paper as community service, but I would still want to give that student some kind of stipend for their efforts or anybody that might be retired. So we'll be looking and trying to do that. I'll be looking at trying to do that to take that responsibility out of me. We would probably give that person people's name and numbers of who we might want to appear on the show and what we might want them to talk about. And they would contact them and set it up and give the information to me. And they could either set up the schedule to meet the show or I could. So that's going to help, and that's going to take us a long way as far as being able to be more effective and efficient and have a more interesting show. And it also gives me more opportunities to go out there. I always wanted to go out there and go to different events, but mainly go out in the different cities, in the downtown areas, and some of the neighborhoods, and not be covering like a news reporter, but just giving some of those human interest stories or just talking to people in the neighborhoods and giving them an opportunity to share how they feel about their local government, their state government, or the national government. And sort of like what Don Lemon does. you know, and I want to be able to do that. And, I guess some people look at me and say, well, why would you want to do that at this point in your life, at the age you are? I believe as long as you have the energy to do it, you should never give up on following whatever kind of dream you have. It's always been my dream since we started this social media thing, and when Chester Bennett gave me the opportunity in 2016 to be on the radio. And it wasn't like an ego thing, but it was just something that was always in the back of my mind is being able to just talk to people and just, you know, have them share information on projects they're doing, or just talk to them and share information on them, on themselves, and what makes them ticks and what kind of influences they have. And then it it, it morphed into Portsmouth Coffee Talk and mainly talking politics, and we also had covered other stories. And please go to Portsmouth Coffee Talk on our YouTube channel and look at some of our videos. Some of the videos and some of the people we talk to are timeless, and some of them might be dated because of the subject that we talked about. But we have some great interviews with some senior citizens, in their 90s. And I, had one with Horace Savage, who was 100. Vernon Crump, who at the time was like 92 or 3. Helen Davis, rest her soul, she was in her 90s when we had an interview with him. And uh, Emery Fields, who was the band director for many years at IC Northam and and Manor High School for a short while, and then at Norfolk State, the Norfolk State Spartans. And we had a conversation with him. And I'm glad we got those conversations, especially with him and Helen Davis, who later passed away. But we forever have those conversations we had with them. and the knowledge and the experiences they shared is next to, I mean, it's just a great, uh, it was a great opportunity to be able to capture capture those words of wisdom per se. So we're going to continue to do that, but I also want to share. You see my shirt, the Slim Nation. Make sure that you follow the Slim Nation one-on-one experience. I don't have a set time where I do those interviews. Haven't done one. The last one I did was with my brother, um, Ronald Goodrich, who recently passed away. And I had about three different videos, one time on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, twice with a one-on-one with me. And I'm so glad I did that with him. I have other memories of him over the years, but I also had those interviews where he dropped some very good knowledge to young people and people in general and shared his story coming from humble beginnings and working hard and getting to the point where uh, he got to, like the old saying, it's not how you start, it's how you end. And he really did a great job in preparing uh, a great life for his family. And we also have the new show, like I mentioned earlier, our take on it, featuring Slim and Shona. And Shona, our school classmate, and we have talked about breast cancer. We've had breast cancer survivors on there, and of course, domestic violence, which she is a survivor of domestic violence. You might want to go and check out that video that we had, and also just go on our YouTube channel and look for our take on it. That's the title of our YouTube channel, and look at some of the videos we have there and follow us every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Uh, we either have guests or it's just the two of us sharing our thoughts on daily uh, daily subjects, things that happen during the day or things that happened to us as we were growing up. But we also look for special guests and uh, look for the opportunity to bring our classmates on. So that's always special to us too. So, like I said, anybody that was expecting Tony Jones to be here, he wanted to apologize for not being here. He was excited about coming on and having a conversation with us, but we will reschedule. It probably in the next 2 weeks, the next two Mondays, we'll work it out where he'll come on in the evening, and I hope that works out for him to be able to come on in the evening and share the information he wanted to share. So that's why you're looking at me, and we're gonna try to do some other things with Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Hopefully, we can bring back our original host and add some other guest hosts like we had during the years on. We had particular people that were guest hosts that would come back from time to time, like Dr. Ernestine Duncan, who was a professor at Norfolk State in the Department of Psychology. She would come on from time to time, and she's been on our take on it, the featuring Slim and Shona, talking about domestic violence. So whenever we have some things that involves the study of human behavior, which that's what psychology is, uh, we bring her on, and she shares some great knowledge about whatever. If it's about grief, we had a great conversation with her about right before the holidays. Not everybody is festive for the holidays. A lot of people go through things during that period. And so she talked about uh, some of the reasons people go through sadness during the holidays and some of the things that can be done to sort of uh, make things a little easier. So, what else do I want to share? Um, I just want to people to make sure when you watch, please make sure you make your comments or join in the conversation with your comments. You are just as important to whatever conversations we are having as the guests that we have on, because you know we're sharing the information with you, and we know you have opinions out there. And in some circumstances, we have the ability uh, live to bring one of the viewers on, one or two viewers on. It depends on how many guests we have at the time, because there's a limit to how many people we can bring on screen. But we have yet to do that. But I'm looking forward to being able to bring on a guest, a viewer live doing one of our shows, so they can uh, whatever subject we're talking about, they might have some opinions about it, and they might have experienced something that they want to share. So that's going to be a really big part of what we do on Portsmouth Coffee Talk going forward. And if you if you want to be a guest, or you have a subject that you like to share with us, please let us know. Now we're going to try to talk a lot about local, state, and national politics. That was a big focus at one point, but we also um, did other things like human interest. And now that we have these other platforms, like I have the Slim Nation 101s, where I can bring on people for a lot of those human interest stories and the our take on it with Slim and Shona. We can bring people on there to cover some of the human interest stories and some of the health crisis, or some of the other things that we want to talk about. We want to focus, if all possible, for Portsmouth Coffee Talk to be in the political realm, because it's just so much misinformation out there. And we want to bring on people that can share the truth, real information, or have an opportunity to learn from each other as guests about what's going on. So uh, I'd say 90% of what we're going to try to do going forward on Portsmouth Coffee Talk when we move to the evenings uh, will be politically motivated. There's so much to talk about these days, and there's so many people out there that need the right information, especially as we come to the midterms and we come to some local elections here, especially here in the city of Portsmouth. And uh, throughout the country, you have different times when there are elections being held. So we're being seen not just here locally. We're being seen all over uh, the United States. Not as many people as I would like, but we're looking to grow. We're always looking to grow. So we're going to need your help in order to help us grow by making sure you share. If you are a part of the Portsmouth Coffee Talks family, make sure you share, it with others. And as we moving forward, we want to try to set up. We've been talking about this for a while. Set up a membership to the Portsmouth Coffee Talk family, where the people that watch on a regular basis, if they want to support us, you know, with uh, with financial donations, or just support us by making sure you share uh, the opportunities, the opportunities that we share with you, and tell a friend, like the president Tom Farm Fresh used to say on those commercials. Come to Farm Fresh and tell a friend. So I'll steal that from here. Just tell a friend about Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And it's named Portsmouth Coffee Talk because we're based here in Portsmouth, Virginia, but we're not limited to talk about Portsmouth issues. We have had shows where we involve mayors and city council people from other cities in the Hampton Roads area, from Hampton to Newport News to Norfolk to Virginia Beach, and as well as Suffolk and Chesapeake. So we are always looking to expand and do more. So, and I'm looking for hosts to, if not come on every show, to be regular guest hosts to come on. Well, I can sort of be here present, but I can kind of sit back and work these little simple controls here whenever we want to add to the broadcast by bringing up a video or bringing up a picture, a photo, or a video, and hopefully we don't copyright infringe. But it's some things that I can be doing on this end that takes some time, and if I don't have to concentrate on doing what I'm doing now, talking. So uh, some people say, well, why don't he shut up when we have other people on here? But I try to do that. So I'll try to reserve my opinion. Sometimes it's kind of hard if we're talking politics not to get involved or say my piece, but I'll try to hard to sort of lay back and let the host or the guest uh, have all the talking features. But I will cut you off if we have a panel discussion and you are dominating the conversation, or just get a little carried away and forget that there's other people that need to talk. So I might have to, you know, that's what the moderator does, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll be like a moderator, producer, but I want to be more in the backgrounds here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk because I have my other platforms where I can talk and talk and talk. But you'll see less of me talking. That's why you see me doing a lot of talking today. You see less of me talking and more talking coming from the guests and the people. And again, we were supposed to have a guest here today, Tony Jones, uh, and a Portsmouth resident who is a contributor to quite a few books, and he was going to come on and talk about that and some of the other things. He's been incarcerated and how he has turned his life around and what led up to him being incarcerated in the first place. We'll get into all of that as we reschedule Tony to come uh, come back on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. But uh, the group he was involved with got invited to a MLK function, and as one of the leaders in the group, he could not miss that event, once they were invited. So we understand, and things like that come up all the time with guests where they have to reschedule, and we've done that many times, and then we have to come on. But I wanted to come on. A lot of times when we had that problem, I might show a rebroadcast of an older show that still is relevant for people who might not have seen it to be able to watch it and get something out of it. But I wanted to come on personally and just talk about some of the changes that we're making to Portsmouth Coffee Talk as far as the time moving, because I think some people, we've been on mornings so long, some people might have gotten used to seeing us there because you never know if people miss you until you not on the air for a few days or a summer, like we take the summers off. Or we did the last couple of summers, and I thought no one would, it wouldn't matter that much, and a lot of people would see me out and said, "I tried to tune in, but I couldn't pick you up." I said, "Okay, that's because we take a break during the summer." That was refreshing to her that people watch, and they don't always show up on uh, on the numbers of how many people are actually watching. I think some people can watch without without registering, but I wish you would. I wish you at least if you're watching on YouTube, uh, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you hit that like button each time you watch it, or hit the thumbs down button. I think that registers too. At least that tells us, okay, that person didn't like that show, and what do we need to do to improve? So I think I've rambled on enough here, and without the guests, but I want to thank you again. And sorry, I want to play some of these Dr. King speeches, and not sure why it's not coming through, but I tell you what I will do. Just be patient for just a minute. Well, anyway, I won't do that because that might take a little while, and we don't want to have don't want to have a dead air. Let's see. Someone has made a comment. I want to make sure oh, okay. That's my partner, Shona Swinson, and thanks for giving me that subscribe, and do that as well. Remember to watch tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Uh, I don't know. We don't have a guest. Sometimes you know, things come up and we don't have time, but we always ready to go live, and we always seem to come up with something that interests you. And I encourage you also when you watch our take on it, the Slim and Shona show. Make sure you also subscribe. We're trying to build that channel. And if you watch and you're making comments, uh, join us. I can bring you on. All I need is your email address, and I can bring you on live. And all you have to do is make sure when you come on live, have your hair did. You know, don't want to scare the people, but uh, even if you don't have your hair did, don't worry about it. Just come up there and be yourself. It's not how you look; it's what you have to say. That's what it's all about. I guess that's true. Maybe not, but anyway, thank you, Shona, for watching for one thing, and thanks for adding your comments there. We appreciate you. And with the other, yeah, okay. And of course, Shona is out of Georgia. She's in Georgia, and she works in Atlanta, but lives outside of Atlanta, and Portsmouth resident. So that's why part of our title is our take on it, featuring Slim and Shona from P Town to ATL. And she's there, and I'm here, which also makes it an interesting show because she shares some things that's going on in Georgia, and I share some things that's going on in her hometown, and she brings on people from Georgia, and that's refreshing. And a lot of those people from Georgia are from here, like Wesley Van. But anyway, you're familiar with Wesley Van. He comes on Portsmouth Coffee Talk as well when we talk about politics. So looking forward to us going forward. And so the first 2 days of the week, you know, we got you covered. We got you covered for Monday and Tuesday. If you don't have anything to do those nights. Now, on some of those Tuesdays, you might see us pivot, and well, the Mondays will be tied up now. We might see us pivot. Hopefully, Shona will agree. We might have to move a show to a Wednesday night because of something that's happening now. Every first Tuesday, uh, I have civic league meeting that I really want to really need to be involved, and some other things come up some Tuesdays. So sometimes we'll let you know. Sometimes we have to move it to a different day where you'll see us sometime during that week. We just want to be consistent, and consistency is what uh, gets you the subscriptions and the likes. Where people will know that you're going to be there a certain time, and they can mark their calendar, pin it on their phone, and make sure that they watch our take on it. On Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And then going forward now, watch Portsmouth Coffee Talk on Mondays at 7 p.m. So make sure you make that change in your calendar and tell all your friends, uh, go ahead and sleep in Monday mornings and be prepared to join us on Monday evenings at 7 o'clock at Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Okay, we appreciate you, and I think I'm gonna get out of here. One more comment from Shona, which is true. You got on these airways, you got to be consistent and flexible in order to keep things going here. And one last thing, the last couple of days, I don't know if you all have seen these reaction channels on YouTube where people react to, and a lot of times they're young folks or people all different ages react to music they never heard before, especially the young people listening to music from the late 60s or 50s and 70s and 80s. It all depends on when they were born. But, it's just amazing to watch them uh, appreciate music that we listen to in real time. And I said, I want to try that, you know. And I've been trying to set it up. And hey, Huddy Williams, and Huddy, let us know if you're available tomorrow evening. I'll talk to you later today. Uh, but anyway, I wanted to try to do a reaction channel and be sort of like and listen to some of that music and share my experiences with people because I was there, especially the 60s and 70s music and the 80s and all going forward. And I was going to listen to some of those songs and then share information about the groups or when I saw them live or what was going on with me during that time. Uh, and I'm still working on it, but I didn't realize how complicated it is trying to set that up. Now, it might not be complicated for somebody else, but if you are doing a reaction channel, hit me up and let me know some shortcuts to how to do that. I'm using OBS, the platform OBS, and people that do the reaction channels know what that is, and just trying to set it up to the point where I can do the reaction channels and you have to be real careful about copyright strikes. And if you get too many of those, they're saying that they'll cut your channel off permanently. And I've seen people doing them, and then all of a sudden I don't see them, and I believe that's what happens. So you have to go in there really knowing uh, the rules of the game, uh, and because there's so many people out there, um, from what I understand, that will try to claim copyrights from you because you are sharing a video, not with the intent to make money off it. You make money from YouTube, just from your YouTube, from your reaction channel, but you have people or groups coming in there claiming that you uh, have violated their copyrights, and it's not always on the up and up. So it's ways that you can handle that. There's ways you can avoid that. So all these things you have to know. So I'm going to continue to work on it. I'm almost there, but sometimes I just have to push away from the computer because it's like my brain is about to blow up trying to watch the video telling me how to do it and follow, because they talk to you. You know how a doctor talks to you, like you've been to medical school, and you have to tell them, wait a minute, layman's term, doctor, or break it down to me. That's the way some of the presenters that are trying to instruct you how to set up a reaction YouTube channel. Like all these little social media things. I wasn't born into this. I'm still learning. So I have to watch certain different people, and some people explain better than others. So watch out in the future. You might see a reaction channel from me. And if I ever get it set up, because that's something I can always bring on guests to listen to a particular song from back in the day. And then, I will also listen to new music and give my reactions to that. But starting out, I would listen to the oldies but goodies, and share my experiences through that song, because there was many songs back in the day that uh, when you're young and trying to date, and some of those songs said what you wanted to say, but they spoke for you, like the Delphonics and the Temptations and the Moments and all those groups, Gladys Knight, and all those groups. You just put that on. You didn't know what to say. Just put the record on and say that thing. That's what I want to say. That's how I feel about you. So we're gonna work on that, and pray for me that my head doesn't explode trying to uh, learn this knowledge about putting together a reaction channel on YouTube. And wow, I've gone on way off base and talked about everything, but how hot the sun is. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up too. So again, look forward to the next time you see Portsmouth Coffee Talk. It will be on the evenings, Monday evenings at 7 p.m. And hopefully that works out for us. We'll get just as many viewers, but we're still trying to grow that channel. It's been a challenge. It's been slow. We get to a certain amount of subscribers and just stop. And I think it's probably has something to do with us. I don't think we benefited a whole lot from stopping during the summer, but sometimes you just have to give yourself a break. And but as we go forward and be able to bring other people in, as I was talking earlier, to help us, uh, we will be showing up. And I see Louis Bracy said that's a good idea, and thanks, Louis. And kind of got that from you when you said that we needed to, yeah. And when you said we need to have, because if you went on earlier, I said we will have special shows on Thursday evenings that will be dedicated to 2 hours when we have a panel discussion, a larger panel discussion, or a subject that needs more time in order to properly cover it. But the regular days are going to be on the Mondays. And I tell people is if we go over a little bit, if the subject is important enough, we have to go over a little bit. But we try to keep it to an hour, to make sure we keep that audience in there. And but sometimes on those special days on Thursdays, we will dedicate 2 hours to the show. But that won't be every Thursday. That'll be some Thursdays where we will special Thursdays where we will do some things like that. So, Lou Bracy, I appreciate you. I mentioned you earlier about how sometime I have to bring you in when you get to talking, but whatever you say, it's always really good information that a lot of us didn't know. And we know how you get carried away, just like I'm getting carried away talking. I tried to end several times, and I know people saying, "When is she going to shut up?" But this is what social media is all about, having a conversation. But I had some important information I wanted to share about Portsmouth Coffee Talk channel and why we didn't have the guests that we had scheduled. If people were actually looking for him to be on because we advertised it that way. So for real, this time I have to figure out where I am now. I don't know why I couldn't get that. Okay, I tried to play the Martin Luther King uh, speech again, but I don't have it. Okay, I tried to play the Martin Luther King. Get it up like that. Okay, thanks everybody, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. I believe probably the next Monday we'll be on Portsmouth Coffee Talk with at 7 p.m. and hopefully I'm um, talking to someone from Maryland, Bracy. Been trying to schedule her, Dr. Gloria Dent, who is president of what is like here the school board in Annapolis, Maryland, or somewhere near Annapolis, Maryland. But trying to schedule her and the chairman of the school board here in the city of Portsmouth, Dr. Well, Dr. Patillo. And so hopefully if I can get the two of them, that's who we'll have next Monday at 7 p.m. and maybe some other educators on the feed so we can talk about how what's going on nationally, locally, and statewide is affecting our school systems throughout the DMV and beyond. So stay tuned for the advertisement or the promotion of that show. We'll see you then. Yes, that would be a good show. Yes, indeed. And you're welcome to join in on that show too as well, Grace. All right. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you when we see you. Take care. Oh, and as always, be aware, be informed, and most of all, like Louis Gracie, be involved. Take care. Be our guest on the